It is our desire today to convince you so completely in the reality of this vibrational reality that you will see it as we do, as present tense. But you cannot make this now reality, this vibrational reality, feel completely like present tense until you spend more time deliberately in the vortex, coming into alignment with the feelings. And what keeps you from being willing to do that is that there's so much to see and hear and smell and taste and touch that sort of tempts you into giving it your attention, that it's not as vivid, it's not as real, it's not as colorful, it's just not as colorful to find a feeling in the vortex. You like the drama of real life. And so even when you think that you are in the vortex and thinking about what you want, and we agree that you've been doing it a higher percentage of the time, still you spend much more time out there observing what is than you do in here feeling the fullness of what has become vibrationally. Every physical human that we ever visit with, Jerry and Esther included, as much as they've heard, they've been listening since the cassettes too. The now reality is compelling. It's just so vivid. And to close your eyes and feel your way into an emotional state just isn't that satisfying. But what we want to do is to give you enough processes that you train yourself into vibrational alignment with what's in the vortex, that then you can step back into the physical manifested reality world and maintain the vibration that you trained yourself while you're in the vortex. For example, we're going to hit this right on the nose for you because we can feel the poignancy with which you're asking, and you're going to get this. So just relax. It is our promise to you, you will hear this. We've been teasing recently 2 relatively new decks of affirmation cards. One of them on money, one of them on health. Because those are big issues for most people. So we've been talking about how a person may be not having as much money or health or whatever as they want. And so going after it in some deliberate way. I'll take a class, I'll read a book, I'll affirm, I'll listen to the cassettes for years and years and years. I'll do everything that I need to do. So let's say that, as you said, the job didn't change and the money didn't get bigger like you wanted it to, and you thought you were doing the work, and why isn't it changing? And so now you come to a seminar and you're that much more determined. We'll get on the subject of money because it applies more to more. So you are in a place where you're not feeling happy about where you are. And so you say, I'm going to do something about that because I deserve a better life, and I want a better job, and I want to be the creator of my own reality, and I want more money. And so you get these cards and you say, my financial success does not require hard work. And you say, all right. Money isn't everything, but who writes this stuff? Abraham, who clearly doesn't need a house, wrote that. There is no shortage of money there is no shortage of money or time. Have you seen my bank balance? Are you kidding me? The better my story gets, the better my life gets. The better my story gets, the better my life gets. I can set my own vibrational standards for financial well-being. Rather than complaining, I will focus on positive aspects. We see these all along the highway where they've been flung out of car windows. So what we're saying to you is, when you are in that place of observing the change that hasn't taken place yet, in other words, you're observing what is, even though you've been making the effort, you've been doing the work, we want you to understand that every effort that you make in an attitude of trying to fix something that is broken just holds you in that vibration of resistance longer. So everything that we've been telling you for all of those many years has been toward the beneficial experience for you to find yourself in your vortex where there is no resistance, and then practice the vibration of that. We would like to say expressly to you that any work that you do, or nearly any work that you do from outside the vortex, while it can improve your vibration to some degree, once you reach the place of understanding that you've come to, if you can accept the reality of the two vibrational aspects of you, and you can recognize that when you have those moments of high-flying good feeling, that means there's no resistance and you're in the vortex. And then from that vantage point, you can do your affirming. The whole process of deliberate creation hinges on this one small understanding and this one small action. Training my frequency. Training my frequency. Training my frequency, which means ignoring reality, because everything I observe activates a frequency. So if I look at not enough money, I've activated the frequency, and you can't activate a frequency without training yourself. So training my frequency into what? Training my frequency to match what's going on over here. So the vortex takes you in many times in every day, really. You hear music that makes your heart skip a beat a little bit, or you feel like moving to the music a little bit, or for Esther, it's always when she first gets out on the highway, the open road just makes her heart sing. In other words, you have those thoughts that still are pure enough that every now and again, you just sort of stumble blindly into the vortex. You do. We know you do, and you know you do too. And what we're suggesting is, if you will just keep an ear to the ground, so to speak, and recognize that you're in there, and then do your affirming from in the vortex, it feels so much different. In other words, I can set my own standards for financial well-being. I can have anything that I want. I even want to read the other side of that. What? The physical me is the materialized me. In other words, my what is need not influence my what is becoming. From inside the vortex, this stuff makes perfect sense. From inside the vortex, you never want to put it down. You want to look at the pretty pictures. You want to take in the colors. You want to understand it fully. This makes sense. What does it mean? How can I know more? Your eagerness just comes over you. You find yourself then inside the vortex just becoming it. And so what we're saying to you is, get in the vortex any way you can and milk it, milk it, milk it, milk it. And you will shift your vibration enough that change must come to you. It has to. We want to find a way today of conveying to you that as you stand in your physical body and you sift through the details of life as you knew you would, that you launch so many endless rockets of desire, and the universe expands and improves as a result of your exposure to life. It just gets better and better vibrationally. And the new generations that are born into this experience are born from this new leading edge place that you've carved out. But we want you to understand that you and every other species on the planet, better said, you and every other consciousness on the planet, and every particle of everything is consciousness. You are constantly asking for improvement, and the source energy part of you, the vibrational part of you, finds that improvement, finds it immediately, and from then on begins offering from that new vantage point. So that means that as you stand on your physical earth, and you worry about global warming, you ask for your earth to maintain its balance. As you worry about earthquakes or volcanoes, you ask for a stable environment. As you worry about economic upheaval, you ask for more stability. And what we want to convey to you is that asking really, really matters. And that asking wouldn't be as extreme or intense or as focused as it is if you were not exposed to the life that caused you to focus it. Now, the reason it really matters is because it is from that vibrational reality that all reality that expands or extends from generation to generation to generation. In other words, the longevity that you know as life on this planet extends purely. This is new. We have not said this to anyone ever. So you're going to enjoy the resonance that you feel as you hear it. As this vibrational reality that we are describing comes to be, this earth experience that extends from generation to generation to generation to generation comes only out of that vortex of creation. In other words, when we say to you, you can be sure that well-being is the order of this universe, that's how we know that to be true. Because there's only the pure, undiluted, non-resistant thought of well-being that is the basis of all this new creation. We want you to remember that you get what you think about, but you cannot do anything other than mess up your own experience. What you think about here in this physical realm, of course, law of attraction is responding to it. You get what you think about. But we want you to understand, we want you to get it, that there is this vibrational reality that is formed, that the larger part of you, the eternal part of you, the part of you that lives on and on and on, the part of you that is the next generation and the next, the part of you that is God force, the part of you that keeps this planet spinning in its orbit in perfect proximity to other planets, that part of you is the receiver and the holder of the best of life that you're synthesizing. In other words, we want you to hold in your mind the idea of this place marker that source energy is, that as you carve out the details of life experience and you know what you don't want to be sick, you want to be well, and on and on and on. As you keep emanating those rockets of desires, source energy, the God force within you, inner being, whatever you're wanting to call that, holds that positive place marker. And law of attraction keeps responding to that powerful, positive place marker. Now, the reason that we're giving this to you is because we want to give you words that reassure you unequivocally of the well-being and the longevity of the eternalness of that which is you. We want you to understand that the well-being of that which you are living here on this planet is unequivocally assured. In other words, the well-being is, the well-being is, the well-being is. And the reason that we know that it is because we've seen what you put into the escrow, which is the basis from which all new creation is coming forth. You just don't need to worry about that. We're also giving it to you in this way because we want you to understand how it is that we can say to you, you get what you think about, and then we can also promise you that the well-being of your planet is assured. There are billions of people on your planet, and billions of you are not worried about global warming. Billions of you are not beating the drum of anything very long. You're a fickle bunch, and that's really good. Even CNN can only give you a little while of any story before it has to move on to the next one. And that's a very good thing. Even though it distorts what it gives you dramatically and gives you far more reason for concern than you deserve in terms of the weight and balance, not the poop to value, the weight and balance of what's going on. We want you to understand that well-being is assured. It's in this vibrational reality, which is the basis of everything that's coming forth. So during the time that we are together here today, we want to help you to understand, accept, and really enjoy remembering that you are more than the physical body that you know as you, that there is another part of you that is viable and alive and vibrational. We want you to understand that you have the glorious experience of sifting through variety for the purpose of coming to new conclusions about how your life would be better. And when that happens, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, you then have the option of aligning with what you're asking for or of continuing to align with the reason that you ask.